Hey guys, this is Hao. Following the last episode in Nanjing, now we've arrived at Shanghai. I'll be visiting two places and shooting with the Panasonic GX8. Let's go and take some photos. In the morning we had breakfast in a hotel that isn't the one in which we slept last night. The trick here is, hotel restaurants usually provide food at a cheaper price for their customers because they've already paid for the room. And their restaurants are usually open for public as well. And some of them doesn't charge too much more for people who just drop in from outside. So you get good quality buffet at a relatively cheap price. Let's see what we've got here. Is that fresh dates and dragon fruit? They're super expensive in Melbourne. Let's get more of them. We had a few plates of fruits and different stuff. In order to not behave like someone from countryside visiting the city for the first time, we decided to stop here. Oh, thank you. You can have it. It wants to inside you. Now we come to the famous Nanjing Road. Yes, Nanjing is the city we visited before, and it's the name of a road here. It's a long walking road. In Melbourne there's the Burke Street, which is also a walking street, but in terms of size, Nanjing Road could eat Melbourne's Burke Street for breakfast, and there's still room left for morning tea. This is the song from a classic TV series back in 1980. It's such a classic that they have this antique-like car and dressing here for paid photography. You can take photos as if you're from the old Shanghai. It reminds me that many years ago when I visited Beijing in the old palace, I could pay 10 yuan to dress like a king and take a photo. It's interesting to see the cultural difference between the two cities, and the difference are largely due to their history background. They're selling some old stuff here to mimic what it was back in the old time, but the stuff here are not actually that old, of course. Now we are at Quanzhou riverbank, a well-known place for tourists. It's a bit of a dilemma for street photography in tourist places. On one hand, there are people and lots of dynamics. On the other hand, it's usually just people posing and taking selfies. After walking several miles, we thought it's a good time to move to the next place planned for today. I wanted to get some local food for lunch, but I'm not familiar with the area and couldn't seem to find a decent place for street food. So we decided to go straight to catch the subway and get some lunch on the way. Now we are near the underground subway station. There are lots of fast food here. Being fast food, they are not as junk as the ones in Melbourne. They're still the traditional food, but made in a fast way. Here's the giant pancake. You can add up to 7 eggs in one pancake. Maybe good for building muscles, but certainly too much cholesterol. The normal street pancake is usually not this big. When I was a child, most of the street food that use eggs let you bring your own eggs and charge you a bit less. On my way to school, I normally hold 2 eggs in my hand, walking towards the food place, looking carefully for any chance that could accidentally break my eggs. After having a giant pancake, now we've arrived at Tianzifang. It's a touristic arts and crafts enclave that has developed from a renovated traditional residential area in the French concession area. This is what I found from Wikipedia, by the way. I'll be using the 15mm prime lens for shooting, which is 30mm equivalent, mainly because the streets are too narrow inside and I wanted to try the classic 28mm focal length. Here you see the strength of Panasonic. I'm using multi-point autofocus, even at f1.7 or 3.4 on full frame in terms of depth of field. It could still quickly lock on the subject, which is nearer, even when the background has more contrast. For me, another benefit of wide-angle lens is that once you get familiar with the field of view, you may not need to look at viewfinder, because you know roughly what you will get in a frame, and with a bit cropping you always get the shot. We left the place when it gets dark, although a bit tired, but when you look at the photos you took, shooting on the street is such a rewarding process during travel. It's not a boring selfie of "I've been here", and it's not a plain landscape which you've already seen on the internet and has much higher image quality. It leaves you something unique in memory for the trip that only you had experienced.